Hello, and welcome to Martin University's National Center for Racial Equity and Inclusion, also known as the NCREI. My name is Davyd Hall, and I serve as the Executive Director of the NCREI. With the need for diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts growing across the nation in aspects of leadership, management, employee experience, and community engagement, the Center's purpose is to assist communities, organizations, and leaders like yourself in your efforts to strengthen diversity, equity, and inclusion across our nation. The NCREI is set to advance capacity building strategies and initiatives that address persistent racial inequities, which will achieve more inclusion for communities, businesses, and institutions and organizations throughout our community as well. We accomplish this through education and training, and the primary delivery vehicles are consulting, coaching, workshops, lectures, road mapping, assessments, seminars, strategizing, and other developmental activities focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion excellence. For more information and to also engage with us for future events, please be sure to visit our website at ncrei.martin.edu, and also be sure to follow our social media pages on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram by simply searching mu.ncrei. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Hello, happy Friday. Welcome to Let's Talk Live with Martin U, the live podcast bringing much needed conversations to the table. Let's Talk Martin U is an exciting, reverent, and educational podcast that digs deep into current topics, community involvement, and stories of our alumni success that only Martin University can deliver. I am Antia King, and joining me today is the Executive Director of National Center for Racial Equity and Inclusion at Martin University, Davyd Hall. Hello.
Good afternoon. Hi, everybody.
How are you?
Doing well today. How about yourself?
I'm all right. It's Friday, so that's always a good day.
We are here.
Right. We're here, and we're almost there. We're almost there to the weekend.
Absolutely.
So I want to start off by just having you introduce yourself and give us a little bit of background of who you are and what you do here at Martin University.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, should I say. My name is Davyd Hall, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Center for Racial Equity and Inclusion at Martin University. I have been in my role, and the center has been open for a little over a year now. And so we have really begun to dig deep into what we do and further establish what we do, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion training and consulting. And we also do community engagement work based on quality of life efforts such as education, criminal justice, public health and wellness, housing, and a host of other things. So we do work in those areas to make sure it's more equitable opportunities for our communities and for our Martin students as well. And so those are pretty much the two nodes, essentially, of what we do here at the center. And so I'm honored to lead a team that is entrenched and passionate about the work. And so we just love what we do, and we appreciate the opportunity for being here to share it with you all today.
So did you go to school for something similar to this, or what did you actually graduate with?
Yeah, so my bachelor's degree is in nonprofit management, and I have a master's in business administration, and I'm currently a doctoral student as well, getting my doctorate in business administration currently. So I would say not traditionally there would be a route that I would say to take, but I have found a true calling and a passion area, and career has just so happened to line up with that. And so within this diversity, equity, and inclusion space, and the community engagement space, and in the nonprofit space, I've just found my niche, if so to say. So I have just been able to be comfortable in this, and I've been privileged enough to be under people who have supervised me and propelled me for this opportunity, I feel like. So, yeah.
So what drew you to Martin University? What made you want to say, I want to work here, I want to do great things at this institute compared to 100 of others in the state of Indiana?
Absolutely. I would say first it would be Dr. Huddleston. And so being able to report and work up under him and have his tutelage readily at my disposal, and also his direction and guidance. I would just say he was the selling point for Martin to me. In addition to that, I also live literally probably 4 to maybe 6 minutes away, depending on street lights. So normally it takes me a song to like a complete beginning to end of a song to normally get to work every day. So the proximity of where I live, I also have a ton of family in the Martindale Brightwood area as well. I mean, I'm just in 46226, which is right down the street. So um, this part of town means a lot to me. I was born in this side of town. I still live here. I know what this means to me, and so being able to work for a university that is located pretty much in my backyard means a lot. And so advancing opportunities in terms of education, in terms of equitable opportunities for quality of life, and things like that, being able to be in a position to influence those things means a lot to me. And so also just living out Father Boniface's vision of what he set this university to do in terms of our community, it means the world to me. And so being able to kind of hold on to that legacy and further that legacy, it means a lot.
It sounds like you're really big on foundation and your people that surrounded you growing up and your upcoming.
Mhm.
I also was told that you are Greek. So, what organization are you a part of, and do you feel like that ties into the role that you play now here at Martin University?
Absolutely. I am a financially active and very active member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, of Iota Lambda chapter here in Indianapolis. Shout out to the good bros. Um, in terms of what Alpha has done for me in terms of this job, we lead from the front. And so we normally set the trend, we set the pace. And so with that, what I've learned in Alpha and being in Alpha, I took that forward in terms of being the inaugural executive director in this role. And so with that, I felt very empowered and I felt comfortable coming into something that did not have much formation and thus making it more formed and figuring out what it was supposed to look like. And so, since its inception, the NCREI has just propelled, and I think we have shaped it. Dr. Huddleston and I think we've shaped it into something that has been notable within the community, notable within the space of Indianapolis, and also externally throughout the nation as well. Some of our clients now are coming throughout the country, and so
Right.
thus we are really living out the national centerpiece. And so I think Alpha just has just prepared me for what the magnitude, and don't let any moment get too big for you that you can't manage it and keep moving forward.
With you being the inaugural executive director, there's so much more room for growth, and you're you're only competing with yourself. There's nobody that you have to compare to, so it's all a learning curve for you along with the program in itself. What goals do you have with this, kind of just starting out? What are your goals here at Martin University for this program?
Well, one, to be a revenue generator for the university. As we start to roll out what revenue model looks like as part of our strategic plan and reset reemerge plan within the university, I am generating revenue for it. And so what I kind of go out and do in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusion trainings, and partnerships and things like that, I'm bringing money into the university and also doing the work of setting what diversity, equity, and inclusion is supposed to look like within organizations. So, though that is part of my goal in terms of revenue, another piece of that would be to make sure that I am doing the community work and also doing the work of providing students the opportunity to attend Martin in addition to what I do when we go outside. So, for example, we do a lot of community engagement work. We went to True Liberation, which is an excellent church located here on the east side. They do a lot of homeless outreach and also just community outreach as well. So, for example, we tabled and we offered some research and some free goodies there, but we also have Martin information that's being provided. And so we kind of recruit for the university as well. And that's another goal and another piece. And also, I would just say begin working in phases. Phase one, of course, was just getting the NCREI off the ground within the past year. And so now the next piece is just furthering out and bettering what we do and also just growing our team. and just making sure that we are furthering the impact within that. And so I would say those are just some of the key strategies of what we're doing, and also just to grow in magnitude, and also in presence throughout the country. So you'll be seeing some articles that'll be coming in from us. You'll be seeing more podcasts such as this, and I truly appreciate the opportunity. You will just see a lot more of what the NCREI is doing externally, and so just kind of furthering our reach, if you will.
So you would say that NCREI is more than just for the students. You want it to be for the community as well, who can
Yes,
all reach out to you and things like that. That's what you're saying?
yes, ma'am, most definitely. And I think we are in a great position to service the students better, and also we can service the community better, and work alongside some of our community partners within the Martindale Brightwood area, the greater Indianapolis area, and statewide too. And so just making sure that we are connecting people to resources. And so that is a key aspect, connecting people to resources. We believe that equity should matter, and equity does not take a lot of effort. Honestly, it's
Hmm.
just maybe elevating our partnerships, or maybe making uh, a knowledgeable standpoint and effort to reach out to those who we don't traditionally reach out to. And so, as we all know, some backgrounds and some identities don't have equitable opportunities, and so let's take that extra step to make sure that that happens. And so we're doing that, for example, and living it out in our work by having a public health coordinator, who specifically does public health driven things. We have a public health summit that's actually starting off and kicking off next week, and we're gearing it towards lupus and the lupus warriors and the lupus community. We also have a community access fair, which is happening October 22nd for the Indianapolis community at large. And so, typically coming from backgrounds like I've come from, my family and those who I've been acquainted with sometimes say, well, I don't know where to go, or I don't know who to talk to, and they're not open and things like that, or kind of give these excuses that
Right.
they don't know, there's a disconnect between them and the resource that they need. And so the efforts that we're trying to do on the community access fair side on October 22nd is connect community and the actual organization. So, for example, we will have expungement services on site for free from the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic. And so, if somebody is in need of that, they will be there. We will have banks and credit unions hosting tables. So, if somebody needs an account, or has a question about an account, or the validity of it and how does it function in terms of the government aspect, that
Mm-hmm.
piece will be there. We also will have guest speakers. We will have Dr. Huddleston. We will have the prosecutor of Marion County as well. We'll have a host of other guest speakers, and Aaliyah Blackburn, who is a newscaster here in the city, will be hosting and be at the master of ceremony. We will have Anthony Murdoch hosting a conversation corner that will talk about what equity is supposed to look like and get a voice of the people as well. And so we have a host of others. At the moment, we have 45 confirmed vendors, and we are shooting for 60. So we are almost there. So if someone is watching and their company or organization is not signed up, please sign up. And it is free for vendors, and it's also free for attendees. So the NCREI has covered all costs. So if anybody needs to get out, or if anybody's in need of resources of some sort, whether that's in education, banking and finance, housing, criminal justice, talking to a government agency. We'll have a host of those there. Environmental health, public health and wellness. If somebody needs employment help, and we will have a career fair that'll be going on simultaneously within this sector. We also have business development opportunities. We'll have technology as well. And we also have civil liberty opportunities such as voting. We'll have police presence there as well. The museum, some of the museums are also signed up. We will have just a host and a plethora of opportunities for people. And so, if you have any questions or want to get further connected with any entities that are in any of those spaces that I just mentioned, we have them for you. I can confidently confirm that we have somebody signed up, at least two companies signed up in every aspect that I just named, which is a big win for us. And so, we just want to make sure that we're connecting community to resources.
Sounds like you have a lot on your plate, which is a good thing. That's good stuff coming to
We
Martin
stay
University
busy.
and the community. Like you just said a whole bunch. Looks like we have some viewers watching. We have Deb Rogers, we have Keisha Wills, and Trina Terrell. And Trina Terrell wants to say, good job, David and Tia. And she's proud of us both. So
Got
thank you very much,
thank
Miss
you,
Trina.
Auntie.
Thank you. So you're mentioning how you have a lot of partnerships on the way for everything and every event. I did my little research and I see that you guys did go to the Colts practice facility a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. Can you tell us about that and how that experience was and how that even came about?
Yeah, well, I'll answer your last part first. It came about just because of my connection with Brian Richardson, who was a previous guest on here. Um, shout out to my brother. Brian and I are actually classmates. So Brian is I talked him into doing the DBA program along with me. So Brian and I are both in the process of becoming doctors together. So he and I are just real close, real tight, and he it was Divine 9 Day and DEI Day at the Colts facility for their training practice, and they were facing the Lions, and he extended the opportunity, and we took advantage of it, and so we got a chance to connect with. So I also have somebody who works up under me, Miss Camille Ware. She's probably watching somewhere, but she is a member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, and so she is Greek as well. And so Brian invited us both out to the day. We got a chance to connect with other Greeks, and we also got a chance to connect with other people who work in the diversity, equity, and inclusion space, such as Jimmy McMillan and Miss Tracy for the Pacers. And so we got a host of people that we just got a chance to interact with throughout the day. And it was a great opportunity to just get out of the office, but also just making sure that we're still working and making connections and furthering connections. We had a fun day, and it wasn't too hot. We were in the tent because I'm dark skinned. I sweat. So it was a good day for me, and I think Camille enjoyed it as well. And the food was good, and we just had good fellowship and good camaraderie within that. So it was a great time, a great opportunity.
Is this something we can look forward to in the years to come with NCREI participating in things like that with the Colts or even the
Absolutely.
Pacers?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this is the start of a beautiful relationship between our office and also the diversity and inclusion office at the Colts, which Brian heads up. And so I think within that, we will constantly find opportunities to see where synergies lie and how they align. And so I think with that, we will find an opportunity to further connect, get more opportunities to be over there, and also invite them here onto campus. I think the Gathetorium is big enough to fit all those big men that just
Right.
all and just can't fit through the doorway. Like, good lord, y'all really play football? Okay, I thought I played, but no, they really play.
They play.
So with that, we would love to have them over here and just like I said, continue that partnership and strengthen it however we see fit and find the opportunity to.
Nice. Have you guys connected at all with the Indiana Civil Rights Commission?
So yes, we have actually. And so Miss Deborah Blewett,
Yes.
who is a key stakeholder of I will call her the key stakeholder of the ICRC. We have a great connection with her and with her team over there, and with them as an executive director as well. And so we've invited them over to a couple of events here, and we're trying to actually work on figuring out what capacity they're going to participate in our community access fair currently. So we have a great relationship with them. And I used to intern for the Civil Rights Commission during my undergrad. So I was there for 2 straight summers in 2011 and 2012. So yes, and one of their past executive directors is
Hmm.
also a great friend of mine. So we have great ties there, and especially bringing them on in the advisory role for the NCREI advisory board. So yes, we have a close relationship with the ICRC.
It's such a small world because I know Deborah Blewett because I was working there before I came to Martin University.
Gotcha.
I worked there, and she's just great, and she's also Martin alum.
Yes, ma'am.
So she has strong ties here. She's just one call away if we ever need anything. She's
And
just a
she
really
will
good
call me.
resource.
And she will call me.
Oh
Yeah,
yes, she'll text you, call
yeah.
you,
I don't know
everything.
how she does it, but that's the only number that comes up on my caller ID that says a name. and it says Deborah Boyd. So it's like, okay, let me hold, please. Let me answer this phone real quick.
An
So
answer for Deborah.
anything to be in the ICRC team. So yeah, we do have some partnerships coming up with them.
Nice. And what are some things that you've done so far for students this year? You've mentioned all the resources and the events that are coming up. Can you give us an example of any resources or what you've been able to teach students or people in the community here
Yeah.
about racial equity and inclusion?
Yeah, one of the main things that we've done more recently is we actually were the first session and the kickoff session for the Martin Works Academy. And so
Oh,
the Martin Works Academy set of students that were going through their LDR class, their leadership class, before they went into their apprenticeships, we were the first ones to go and do it. So, excuse me, we actually talked about sense of belonging in the workplace. And so we went in and taught students and talked to students about what that looks like from where they are and how that correlates to what an organization pictures them to be. And so we talked about how to navigate that space. And we also talked about how we're a resource and how we can provide more resources in terms of what that means so that we can acclimate to our environment, but not lose our authenticity within that. And so we had honest dialogue and conversation around what that looks like. And also we just gave some tidbits about how students can go about navigating that within the future as well. And so it was a very engaging conversation. And we're also working with our student engagement team to look at what it looks like to become a student ready college as opposed to expecting students to be college ready.
mm,
So I'll say that again, becoming a student ready college as opposed to expecting students to become college ready. And so with you, as you know, but for people who may be watching, they may not know, the typical Martin student is a non-traditional college student. And so that student may be between 25 to 35 in age range, typically, and it runs the gamut within that from traditional age all the way up to someone in their 60s. And so within that, we have to figure out how we can better place ourselves and further place ourselves as a university that can accommodate all, as opposed to expecting students to figure out how to navigate being here. And so, if we can figure out how to better give resources or better give a student learning experience in terms of orientations and expectations in the classroom, those are things that we're also kind of working with behind the scenes to make sure that that matters from a generational context. So, in terms of DEI and the students, we do things kind of in the face of students, but we also kind of do things behind the scenes as well, in the cusp of what we do. So, yeah.
so with you mentioned you have a lupus awareness that you want to do and
Mhm,
participate in,
mhm.
amongst other things. I got a nice little email that mentioned that this month is also National Disease Literacy Month.
It is.
And you guys are focused on different topics each week. So, what else are you guys doing to raise awareness this month for that?
So within that, thank you for reading it. One, just to start there. And if anybody wants to join our weekly newsletter, please shoot me an email. Let me know, and I'll be glad to add you. But we just plan on highlighting that, but we also just want to plan and bring it into fruition as well to visibly see it. So we always talk about this word of equity. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, things need to be more equitable. It needs to be a better opportunity to attain it. But the doing an application is oftentimes where efforts and the passion meet a brick wall because people don't know what to do next to bring it into real life. And so, as we highlight some of these diseases throughout the month, they will be future summit series opportunities as well. So, for example, when we talk about the lupus piece within the
Mm-hmm.
Black community, that will be highlighted next week. We'll talk about sickle cell as well. Sickle cell is something that we actually piloted with a couple of months ago with the American Red Cross with 100 Black men. We had a sickle cell event, and that was kind of the launch point. Like, hey, well, we need to further this and actually look at what equity looks like. And so, what we want to do within the diseases and highlighting it this month, we want to bring about literacy. We also want to bring about education, and we want to actually bring in experts and get some expert research centered around these diseases. And we also want to build a sense of community. And so within that, for example, for our sickle cell piece, the Martin Sickle Cell Center. we partner with them in that. And so that way, those who may have come and may not be affiliated with the sickle cell center now can be a part of and have a sense of community built in with that. This one next week for lupus, we're partnering with the Lupus Foundation Indiana chapter, and so they have been a great partner within that. We're planning on doing some things with cancer in the future, and so we have partnerships with people who specifically are in the cancer community, centered around what that looks like in terms of educating and forming community. And so we want to make sure that for all of these diseases and health related opportunities that we are highlighting, we want to make sure we're pretty much doing those things in terms of what health equity looks like for the NCREI. And so Camille is doing an excellent job of bringing synergies to find out what that looks like. And also, we're doing COVID research. So it's also research driven as well. And so we're looking to see how we can better get the Black community and other communities of minority background um, more vaccinated and kind of dispel the rumors that are centered around that as well. And so we're just looking to really educate and just further what a sense of community and what safety looks like. And not only educate those who are just experiencing it and new, but also those who support those who have these illnesses. Because as you know, some of these diseases, they may cripple people in some instances. They may
Mhm.
take away quality of life experience to where they need a primary caregiver and things like that. And so, with those things in mind, we want to make sure that we're providing resources for everyone and being more inclusive within that. So, we're definitely doing work in that area.
You mentioned safety and educating.
Mhm.
This month is also National Suicide Awareness Month. Are you guys doing anything to raise awareness for that too?
Actually, that was going to be on next week's. That was going to be on next week's mailing. So you must have been in my account. But but with
Okay.
that, we also just want to make sure that we're actually just trying to make a concerted effort to try to recognize all of the celebratory months and the
Hmm.
awareness months respectfully. And so within that, because it's also Hispanic Heritage Month next week as well, it kicks off.
Yep.
And so, as we try to go down the line to recognize everybody, we want to go about doing it that way. And also, we're going to be making plans once things slow down to try to get with you all in the marketing and communications department to see how we can further put these things maybe on our website with a highlight and maybe just active links of what more Indianapolis based resources look like, but also what international and national resources look like as well, just to highlight some of these history months in the proper way as we begin, to keep forming and to keep.
Hmm.
So those efforts will definitely be there within the coming months to further highlight some of these awareness months and history months and things like that.
Nice. Now, you mentioned earlier a ton of events. I'm not sure if the viewers were in yet when you did. So, can you let us know upcoming events and how somebody can attend, if there's a price or a registration deadline, things like that?
Yeah.
What's going on with all NCREI and how can people attend?
Um, well, we are booked and busy. Let's just start
Right.
there. Um, next Thursday, September 15th, we will actually have our Lupus Health Summit. And so within that, we will be highlighting the lupus community and lupus warriors. We have Miss Carla Day coming in to speak. It'll be September 15th. It'll be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Lunch will be provided. There is an Eventbrite link to purchase tickets for that. And it's also free. I can't forget that. We like that word. So everything is free. We will have a rheumatologist that will be giving a presentation. We will have a lupus panel that'll be giving some great information. And we also have our partners over with Anthem and the Arthritis Foundation that will be providing some resources and a host of other resources within that. So we will have that September 15th. There is also, let's see, October 22nd, we will have our community access fair. And so with the community access fair, it will be pretty much connecting community with resources. And so those resources typically come from companies, organizations who different people in communities may not have access to or may not know how to get access to. And on the other end of that, companies, organizations may not know how to connect or how to provide the opportunity to obtain resources, and the services needed. And so within that, we want to be that connector piece. And so within you will have companies, organizations that will represent education, banking and finance, housing, criminal justice, government agencies, public health and wellness, environmental help, business development and employment opportunities, most importantly, and technology and other opportunities such as policing, so that we can have one-on-one conversations with our police officers and get to know them. Some of the same ones that police and say and like serve our community will be there and be present. And also voting, because we're coming up on November. So
Mm.
voting opportunities in terms of learning what absentee looks like and signing up for absentee, they will be there as well. The importance of museum experiences and highlighting museum experiences, so that way we can get a more knowledgeable standpoint of Indiana history and just national history. They will be there as well, and just different recreation too. And so within that, we will be connecting that, and we will have companies, organizations from all of those aspects. Those are two of the main things that are coming up. We also have been Martin and the NCREI have also been invited to the Yvonne Perkins golf outing hosted by Citizens Energy. And so that will be next Tuesday, actually. And it means a lot because Yvonne Perkins is my grandmother. And so Citizens is where she worked for 46 years.
Wow.
Citizens highlighting her by naming the golf outing after her. And so they gave Martin and the NCREI a team to actually golf. And so I do plan on showing off my top golf skills. Not my golf skills, but I will show off my top golf skills. And if you've been to Top Golf, you know what I mean by that. So I'm just going to hit the ball as hard as I can and then try to finesse it when we need to
Fair
finesse
enough.
it. Exactly. So we got that. And I'm also booked to speak at the Diversity Roundtable at the end of the month as well, on September 28th. And so I will be a guest speaker there to kind of get people riled up for their diversity conference that's occurring next month. So yeah, and then we also have some opportunities coming up in December, and we will be partnering with Indy Juneteenth as well. And so details have not been released yet, but there are some great things, partnerships happening with Indy Juneteenth too. So we're rocking and rolling.
Definitely a lot of things to look forward to attend, some free stuff to attend, some charitable events to attend. So, how can somebody reach you or contact you or this department on everything racial equity and inclusion?
Really, they all of our contact information is located on the website. And so if anybody were to ever need us, you can definitely find us on the NCREI website. Excuse me. And also my email is dhall@martin.edu as well. That would be the best way to, I would say, to reach me, just because otherwise I may not be at my desk and I may be out. And so the voicemail it will send a voicemail to my email anyway, so I'll be able to hear it and be able to hear it and be able to reply back. So I would just say just email me dhall@martin.edu, for anything that anybody may need or any questions or anything like that. I'd be more than happy to get a quick response back over to you and just looking to further connect. And so, if there's an opportunity that we see through partnership, or if that means something with DEI training and things like that, or DEI consultation, we are more than happy to provide that here at the NCREI. So, we are capable to do any and all things related to that.
All right, y'all. He said he booked and busy, but he's not too booked for more partnerships and more meetings. So please email him, contact him whenever you can. If you have a question, concern, or just would like a resource, make sure you reach out to him through that email. Is there anything else, Mr. Davyd Hall, that you would like to share with the audience, with peers, colleagues, professionals, the community?
Um, no, just remember to just keep going forward. I would just say in the DEI space, there is no uh, written standard of how things are supposed to go per se, and so
Mm.
be able to pull and draw down resources that fit you and fit your organization, and make it work for you. And so that is kind of something that we go about teaching. And so we can always go off of what industry standards look like, and we can always try to draw a picture for what something else looks like for another institute,
Mm-hmm.
another organization, but we don't make it specifically fit for what we do and how we do things. And so I would say begin to try to leverage what you have internally and put out the best product that you can externally. So just that connection and correlation within that, within the DEI space. And so that's something that we capitalize on, and we also bring in application. And so making sure that the doing matters, because a lot of people will talk about how they are experts or how companies are have an expertise in DEI, but do not really know how to show that. And so please let
Mm-hmm.
us be able to help you within that in the future for what that looks like. And so give me an email, give me a shout, give me a call. I'm here.
Well, thank you so much. That looks like that is the time we have for today. I want to thank you so much for joining Let's Talk Live with Martin Yu and sharing your knowledge and expertise and the goals that you have for NCREI here at Martin University and with the community. I'm your guest, Antia King, and I'll see you same place, same time next week on Let's Talk Live with Martin Yu.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Danielle Shaquan McGee. I graduated with my bachelor's of business administration in 2021. Going back to school with 5 kids was a big commitment I had to be willing to make. I do think the older ones really understood what I was trying to do, and I'm very open with my kids. So we did have a conversation before I decided that I was going to take this big step and how much I needed their support. When I came to Martin, it was like everything was perfect. Working around my job schedule, the drop-in center that helped with the kids, the faculty pushed you and encouraged you. The reason I chose Martin was because of the drop-in center, the smaller class sizes, the support of the staff, being in an environment with people who are going through the same things I was going through, and just us help pushing each other. For too long, Martin University has been Indiana's best kept secret, and I'm on a mission to change that.